Hello, everybody. Chris Hamilton here with salestipaday.com, www.salestipaday.com. And today, it's a little bright. You're going to see my face looks almost white. If I put my hands up, at least you can see me a little bit. I'm broadcasting on Facebook Live, which I'm going to turn on in about 2 seconds here. Just to give you a heads up, I got lights on either sides because last time I did this, people thought that I didn't look all that great. So just bear with me. I'm going to get my Facebook Live going. Okay, so I got Facebook Live going. We're going to get started here in about a minute. Anyone who is joining on Facebook, what I'm doing is I am running my monthly LinkedIn webinar. What it is this one is on 5 things that you can use LinkedIn to generate business or more business for yourself. And it should be about half an hour long. So as soon as we hit 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, I will join. I'm going to take a quick drink of coffee. I appreciate everyone showing up. I've got multiple channels going. I got Facebook. I got YouTube Live. I've got a landing page going. I got a bunch of different people that will be coming in different ways on this platform. Once again, 9 o'clock here, I am going to start sharing my presentation with everyone. So bear with me for 1 sec as I do that. Now, unfortunately, the people on Facebook Live will not be able to see the presentation. If in the future you want to see this presentation, you can reach out to me and I'll send you the link for any future ones that I'm doing as well. So hi to the people on Facebook, hi to the people on YouTube, and hi to the people on the landing page. Appreciate you being here. So what I'm going to do is today I'm going to talk about 5 ways to generate business on LinkedIn. And this presentation is roughly about half an hour long, maybe a little bit shorter, depending on how fast I go. If anyone has any questions, what I would suggest is that you text me at 403-630-1243. Once again, 403-630-1243, and we will go from there. So anyways, why listen to me? First thing I say is I always walk the walk, and I use LinkedIn literally every single day for prospecting. I shouldn't say that every single day. I take weekends off usually and stuff like that. And the occasional day I may not jump on LinkedIn, but it is a tremendous tool for generating business. And I've been on LinkedIn since March 2006, so over 11 years. I joined LinkedIn when there was literally about 4 million members. There's over 500 million now. I was in the first 1% of people that jumped on LinkedIn. I have used it to generate literally millions of dollars in sales. It's helped me generate easily 7 figures in income over the last 10 years, incremental, that I can approach. One of the things that I do want to talk about is just some of the proof that this has. So the screen that you're looking at right now, it's a company I used to work for about 2-3 years ago. And I took a screenshot of my activity compared to all the other salespeople's activity. So there's roughly about 225, 250 sales reps that are on this screenshot that you see here. And literally, I sent 22 times more emails than anyone else in that I was competing against. I booked 10 times more meetings, and I generated 30 times more online demos of the software that that this company was selling. And I did about half the time of the other salespeople. And a lot of this was attributed to my ability to leverage LinkedIn and reach out to the right people in my target demographic. My target demographic, it was typically investment bankers or private equity companies and people that were selling companies and such. And so anyways, you know what? I leverage LinkedIn, and like I said, I did this about half the time that most people did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the presentation right now. So first thing of the 5 ways to generate business on LinkedIn is your profile. So this slide, what you see here is 50 and 84 in half. So let me go through this. So 50% of B2B buyers go onto LinkedIn to try to find someone that will be able to provide the product or service that they're looking for. 84% of C-level buyers, so think about people that have budget and can spend it, do the exact same thing. Now, half of these people will completely ignore you or your profile if it's not complete. So it's huge opportunity for you to differentiate yourself from your competition and get more qualified buyers reaching out to you. A few stats that I'm going to show just in regards to this. 76% of B2B buyers prefer to work with recommendations. So in that case, make sure people that you're connected to know what you do so that they can recommend you. Buyers who use social media spend 84% more per purchase. So it just goes back to the previous slide here, which is buyers are going online on LinkedIn to try to find products and services. Social buyers make 61% more purchases. Now, people that are using LinkedIn or are social selling leaders have 45% more opportunities in their pipeline. So go back to that present or that graph slide that I showed you with way more outreach that I was able to do in about half the time. There's one of the reasons why there's more opportunities. And also, if they have more opportunities, they're 51% more likely to close quota. Salespeople who reach out with valuable insights are 5 times more likely to get a response compared to those who reach out cold. So what are you trying to do? If you reach out to someone on LinkedIn and say something along the lines of, hey, here's a valuable piece of information I think you might find of interest, other people in your niche or in your market or whatever in your position have benefited from this. I hope you enjoy it. Then what I would do is after you send that out to someone, I would actually just jump on the phone 2 or 3 days later and reach out to them and say, hey, sent you something through LinkedIn. It's in regards to this. Did you get a chance to get it? Yes or no? And the reason why I say that is because sometimes people don't go into LinkedIn to find the or look at their emails that come through. So you just got to be able to follow up with that. Chances of getting more success just by following up is massive when you do that. And last but not least, 78% of salespeople who use social selling, a social selling process, i.e. using LinkedIn, outperform their peers. So huge thing. So here's what we're going to do. Just some tips and tricks on your profile. Just give me a sec. Going to take a quick drink of coffee. Yummy. First of all, starting from the left and moving to the right, having a premium account on LinkedIn, so a business account on LinkedIn will generate about 15 times more views. Why is that the case? A couple of reasons here. One, I think it's because people who are paying for their account spend more time putting effort into it. And two, not qualified or quantified on this or qualified on this, but I also think that literally LinkedIn gives preference to people that are paying them for their membership. I have never been able to qualify that, but you know what? That's my personal belief. Putting a picture on gets you 11 times more views. And once again, going back to the not filled out properly, first thing that people look at when they go through a search on LinkedIn is they're looking at that picture, and then that'll draw them in and get them into the get them into looking at your profile. No picture, 50% less views. The other thing with a picture is make sure it's a professional shot of yourself if you can get one. Second thing too is don't have pictures of dogs and cats in there or family members and stuff like that. LinkedIn's about business. Make sure it remains business. Tell you what, putting your education on gets you 10 times more views as well. Featured skills and endorsements. If you add skills and endorsements, you get 13 times more views than if you don't have these. And I'll tell you where this plays into. I own a software company. It's accounts payable, accounts receivable software. And we work with QuickBooks. And oftentimes I will go searching through different cities to try to find people that are on or have QuickBooks as a something in their profile. And when I go through and search, I look at someone's profile. Sometimes I cannot see QuickBooks in there. When I do a Command F or a Control F on a PC and you search on QuickBooks, a lot of the times it will show up down here in the feature skills and endorsements. So that's what that's telling me, is that LinkedIn is using this to pull information forward and get you presented. Here's another tip on this one, is that you get 50 skills that you could put in here. And of those 50 skills, if you can't fill out a whole bunch of skills, you know what? Go find people that you compete against and look at the skills that they have and just take those skills and add them to your profile as well. So that's how you can fill out that whole 50%. Putting more than one position in gets you 12 times more views. And so once again, back to this, is a complete profile will generate up to 15 times more views. Why is it important? As I said earlier, 50% of buyers, B2B buyers, come on through LinkedIn to try to find products and services. 84% of C-level who have budget will do that. Half of them will completely avoid you like the plague if you do not have a complete profile. So there you go. Once you get people to your profile, you have to give them a reason to contact you and how to contact you. So what I've done is there's a couple of things that I do in my profile. First of all, my tagline right below my name is one of the areas where I use. So what LinkedIn does is it takes your most recent job position and puts it in there. You can edit that when you go into the upper right-hand section. There's a pencil. You click on that pencil icon, and what it does is it will bring up the ability to start changing things on your profile. So in here, what I've done is I've got your SMB marketing go-to person who can generate up to 10 times more sales leads. Ask me how. So market I serve, the SMB market. What I am, I'm a sales and marketing person. What can I do? I can generate up to 10 times more sales leads, and a call to action, which is ask me how. Now, one thing I would not do not put your email address or your phone number in this tagline. It breaches LinkedIn's terms and conditions, and they will shut your account down if they do that. I don't think, they might give you a warning on that, but just be careful of that. Now, what you see down here is on the second part in the summary, the first line I've got call me at and my phone number, and email me at with my email address. The reason why I have that, I'll show you why in just 2 seconds here. LinkedIn is moving more towards mobile. In fact, I believe it's like 70 to 75% of people access LinkedIn through a phone or through a mobile device now, and I'll get to that in a couple of seconds here. One of the things that LinkedIn used to have, which was tough, is if you do not have your phone number or your email listed in your account, it was tough for people to reach out to you. They've made it a little bit easier now, but what I've done is I just put that tagline in my summary, or the first bit in my summary. Reason why I do that is because on the mobile profiles, you see on the right-hand side here, the first line that gets pulled in just down at the bottom of the section, first section, is that first line of your summary. So this gives people an easy way to find my phone number or find my email address as well. I'm going to skip this slide. Just back to this one is, this is the latest information I have. It was Q3 2015. Obviously, it's a year and a half old, but at that time there were 55 million visitors using LinkedIn via a mobile device. Counts for about 55% of all the unique traffic. It was a 31% increase over that prior year. So in Q3 2016, which was literally about half a year ago, I guess, there would have been about 72 million unique visitors, or just roughly about 70 to 75% of LinkedIn's users going on via a mobile device. So that's why it's important to make sure your mobile device works. Now, what you need to do is in your profile, when you're, you can update your contact and personal information. I would highly recommend put your phone and email address in there, because what happens is when someone goes to your mobile profile, what they'll find is different areas where your information gets pulled in, and that's where your phone number and your email comes in. The phone number and email are also hyperlinked, so that if someone presses on them, that they can reach out via phone or send you an email as well. So very important on that one. So just some tips on this first section here. Make sure you fill your profile out 100%. Make sure you have a picture, obviously, get in there. Think about your profile in the shoes of a potential client. So don't think of it, don't write it as a resume, write it as a it's like your billboard. It's you selling yourself and what you can do for people. Use specific keywords that'll get you found. So for example, if you're selling, I'll use me for example, accounts payable software, I would put accounts payable software in my profile so that the people will find you when they start searching on that sort of stuff as well. As I say, look at your profile on a mobile phone or an iPad or whatever you have, a tablet, and try to make changes that will suit that from your current profile on your desktop. Reason being is just because more and more people are accessing LinkedIn via a mobile device. And last but not least, give multiple ways for people to contact you. So as I say, my first summary line has my phone number and my email address. If you go into later down in my summary, it's got all my contact information. I've got my contact information via LinkedIn through the profile. Also, I've got my contact information in, I believe, my experience sections as well. So I've given people multiple ways to reach out to me on my profile. There's a whole bunch more tips, but I didn't want to go. I just wanted to go into some high level ones. There's a whole bunch more that are associated with that maybe I'll get into at some other date on another presentation. Okay, so the next one I'm going to go into is, this is something I teach. It's a 4-week course that typically takes about a full day. It's 2 hours a day course. It's called the Digital Referral. I'm going to distill this down into just literally a few slides, maybe about 5 slides, to get you up and running. And if this is something that's of interest to you, you can always reach out to me, chris@salestipaday.com. I can tell you when my next course is going on this. I also have a video course that I've created around this that will show you how to do this as well. It's about 50 minutes long. Quick coffee break. Hi to everyone watching on Facebook Live. Unfortunately, I can't see any questions coming in just because of the way that my iPad's set up. But if you have any questions, you can text me at 403-630-1243. Hopefully you can hear me too. I was testing out microphones earlier, and unfortunately I couldn't get the microphone to work on Facebook Live. So you're just going to have to put up with maybe it not being as loud as it should be. So this one is called the Digital Referral. So what I tell people, it's not who you know, it's who you know and who they are connected to that is going to make you succeed in LinkedIn. And one of the things, I may get to this in later on in the slides here, I can't remember. What I'm about to teach you has huge, phenomenal success for me. This is the prime way that I use LinkedIn to generate sales opportunities for myself. And what I want to also tell you is that 99.9% of people on LinkedIn do not do this, yet it is probably hands down the best way to generate sales leads on LinkedIn. So when I look at my first level connection, so in this case, I was looking for like VPs of sales or vice president of sales in Calgary. I was connected to 16 people. If I take a look and start looking at people that are in the second level. So second level, first level are people that are directly connected to me. Second level are people that are connected to someone that I am connected to. It goes from 16 to 294. At least it did on the day that I ran this. It might be higher now, it might be a little lower, but let's just use this for grins and giggles. That's an 18 times increase by going after that marketplace. So huge opportunities abound on this. So here's what you do. If you're going in and you're searching on someone, so in this case, I'm looking at Byron Blair. He's at Ether in Calgary. So what I do is I look at his profile. If I go down below his profile, I can see anyone that I'm connected to. When I click on here, it brings up all these different people that I'm connected to that's connected to Byron. And what I would do is I would take a look through and see, is there anyone here that I could leverage to introduce me to Byron? And then what I would do is I would send that person that I'm connected to an email. Do not send it through LinkedIn because people don't check their messages on LinkedIn all that much. Send it through email. And here's what you do is you send this email. Tagline would be, can you help me out? People like helping people out. It gets people to open the email. Hello, hope all is well. I hope you can help me out. I'm taking a new solution, product, whatever it is, to different companies right now. I'm hoping that you can help me out by making an introduction to this person from this company. I see that you're connected to them on LinkedIn. I'm ad-libbing some of this, by the way. The solution helps companies like XYZ by doing whatever the benefit is. Do you know this person well enough to introduce me? If so, here is an intro you can use. Subject line, introduction to Chris Hamilton. Email body, hello, whatever the person's name is. A friend of mine reached out to me, see if I could introduce the two of you for a while. He helps companies reduce costs, increase revenue, do whatever with product or service. Typically increase their revenue by X% or reduce their cost by X% or whatever that benefit is or metrics that you have in there. He was hoping to get introduced to you, and I wanted to check with you first before introducing the two of you. Do you mind if I introduce to you? Regards, and then put the person's name in. Now, why do I do this? I send this out, and the reason why I send this out is because it'll get open in email. When it gets open in email, what I've done is I'm asking someone to introduce me to someone that they're connected to. And Literally, I've dumbed it right down. I've created the email form, copy, paste, takes all of about 15 seconds and send. And someone can do that. Now, here's the scoop. 3 things come of this. First of all, it's, yeah, no problem. I'll introduce you. 2, yeah, no, I don't think so. This guy's, I don't know. Or 3, Chris, you don't want to get involved with this guy. This guy's no good, right? So there's kind of the 3 options that you get. When I go through this, sorry, I'm going to flip through and just do this. My results are roughly, I get 40% of the requests that I ask will introduce me. I can get it up to a 50% engage, or I can get up to 50% if I send it out a second time if someone doesn't remember to introduce me or hasn't introduced me. But let's just use the first thing. Usually it's about 40%. Of those 40%, I usually get about a 50% engagement. So that engagement, by the way, is I end up on a phone call, face-to-face meeting, or an email thread starts to happen. So that's a 20% overall engagement. Cold calling, according to IBM and a report from Baylor University, has a success rate between about 0.3% and 2%. If I'm getting kind of that 20%, I'm basing it against this 0.3%, I'm getting a 66% greater success rate than picking up the phone and smiling and dialing. So it's huge opportunity to do this stuff. So I just distilled down an 8-week course in like literally into about 5 minutes there for everyone to get on this, to understand this. One of the things I want to tell you, oftentimes a question comes up is, what if I don't know the person well enough to make that introduction? That's up to you to figure out. You know what? The golden rule I have is that I would only ask people to introduce me if I'm willing to introduce them to other people as well. So that's the rule that I would use there. Okay, we're on to tip number 3, premium account InMail. So let me show you something that will give you thousands of dollars in value through LinkedIn that you can do on a regular basis depending on the size of your geographical territory and everything like that. So what you do, this one is, it's a premium account InMail. So when you go to someone's account, so Peter here, for example, has this little logo over here that's a golden LinkedIn logo. That right there shows that he has a premium account. Now, when I go down here and I hit InMail, 70 to 80% of the time, people have this set up this way so that you can do this. What it does is it brings up new InMail message. Look down on the bottom right-hand corner, and you see free message. Sometimes it'll say it'll take a credit or something like that. What you're trying to do is find the people that have free message. And it depends on how Peter's got his account set up. He has it set up the way that it should be, which means that you're enabled to, or you're allowed to send an InMail directly to Peter via LinkedIn. So in this case, what I would do, create a subject, create a message, and send it to him. But I'm going to show you what I do. I did one that was a LinkedIn social selling playbook companies across North America. And I created like a 1-hour course, which I put a value of about $300 on $299, as you can see down here. And what I did was I created a link that gave it away for free. And I put an email in and I said, hey, with this free course, and then write the message down here and put the information, put the link in, which pushes them to this page. Now, here's the interesting thing. I send an email out this way. When they register for this course, and this is done through a website called teachable.com, when they register, a notice is sent to me that this person is registered. So now I know that they're actually potentially qualified. So I can follow up with this person a day, 2 days, 3 days later and say, hey, how's the course going? Was hoping I could jump on a phone call and just let you know about other things I might be able to help you out with. And that's how you get the selling going. So each one of these things, by the way, these free InMails, they actually cost $11. I got $10 here. The math's easier for me. I was doing I had my assistant doing between 10 and 30 of these a day in North America, kind of going through some of the larger metropolitan centers and trying to find people that were on LinkedIn with a premium account. On a monthly basis, that was up to about $6,000 in free InMails that I was sending out on a monthly basis. and created opportunities for me. And I ended up getting sales of it because of that sort of thing. So that's a great little way to do something like that. So the tips in regards to this: approach someone with something of value, keep it short, and track the contact. So I had my assistant putting the person's name, city, and LinkedIn URL in, so that I could track what it was later. 6 months later, send them another message. Keep going back. So once again, it goes back to that point that's earlier on that I talked about, which is if you engage with people with something of value, what you're going to end up getting is a 5 times greater chance of engaging with that person. So nothing like giving someone the ability to show them how to ramp up their sales team to make more money, and try to engage with them and stuff like that. So there you go. So next one is, it's very similar to what I just talked about. It's group in mails. Same thing. I'm going to use Peter here. When you go into someone's connection, if you look down here, you see mutual groups. You'll see the number of groups that you're actually connected to on LinkedIn. And I'm going to show you how to get to groups. If you go across the top bar, you see this work thing. It says groups. Go in here. You could search on different groups and join them. I would highly recommend join the groups in the demographic you serve, not the demographic you're in. And what do I mean? So for example, if you are a Microsoft partner, for example, don't join Microsoft groups. I mean, you can if you want to, but if you service IT managers in a specific niche, let's say basket weaving, what you want to do is try to find the basket weaving IT manager group or something like that. Or, if you chiropractors, dentists, doctors, find the groups that you work or play in, and then that way join those groups. Now, what you do is, in this case, I am part of oil and gas industry people, or the Young Oil and Gas Professionals group that Peter's in. What I do is I go into, when I click here, I can also go into groups. It'll bring up the groups. I go into my groups, I start searching, and it starts bringing this up. So we got the Young Oil and Gas Professionals group here, right? What you do is that pulls it up. Click on the members button here. And then what you do is start typing the person's name in, and they'll pop up here. When they pop up, over on the right-hand side, you're going to see this little itty-bitty envelope. When you click on that, it brings up the ability to send a message to that person. Now, here's the scoop. You only get 15 of these a month. So make sure you choose wisely when you're sending these out to people. And my other recommendation is that when you send a message out, I mean, very similar like I had before up here, which is, hey, I got this course, or I've got some valuable information. Send it out and then follow up with a phone call 2-3 days later. You'll see that that has a huge success rate by doing something like that as well. I'm going to show you a couple other ways to use this. Another way to approach contacts is when you're in a group and you're searching around. For example, this person here is trying to figure out information on, say, Peachtree and Sage accounting programs. Does anyone know of a class, preferably on Long Island? So if I sold Peachtree Sage accounting training on the Long Island area, what I would do is I would take Erice's, I think that's how you pronounce her, Sachs name. I would go into the bookkeeping club where I found this, hit members, put her name in, boom, click that, reach out to her and say, hey, I offer training. I'm on Long Island. Here's some information you can go find, blah, blah, blah. And then follow up with her a couple of days later. There you go. That's how you do that. Last but not least, 5 ways to generate business on LinkedIn. So this isn't really a way to generate. Well, it is and it isn't. LinkedIn sends you notifications, and it tells you of people's birthdays, work anniversaries, and if they've started a new job. So in this case, what I do is you go into notifications up here, it lists all this stuff off. You can send messages out to people. If someone's starting a new position, you can send a message out, or if they have work anniversaries. What I do with people that are, so by the way, this is a great way to keep in contact with people at least 2 to 3 times a year. Add a personalized message. So for example, congratulations on the new job. Let me know what an ideal client is and what you do so I can keep my eyes open for you, right? So all of a sudden you've got this person looking at you because you're saying, hey, I'm paying interest here because of the fact that I know you're starting a new job. Let me figure out if there's ways that I can help you. And who doesn't like to be helped when they're starting a new job to try to get business? Tell you what, I got an offer here. I'm going to go through really quick and we'll keep it under 2 minutes. I do have a LinkedIn course. that will allow people to get access to a whole bunch of information on LinkedIn. Literally, I think it's over 40 hours of content in here. I've got a LinkedIn social selling course. I've got a social selling playbook for sales managers that I referenced in this course here earlier. I've got top 20 LinkedIn tips and tricks, how to nurture LinkedIn connections. I got multiple LinkedIn tips and tricks and videos. I got webinar replays. I put up new monthly content on a regular basis. I've got my LinkedIn digital referral course up there as well that normally costs, if you take the course at $200 plus, if you buy the course, it's about $99, I think, in there. So like I say, 40 hours of content. What you're going to learn tons of tips and tricks to land qualified meetings. Some of the best ways to generate sales leads from LinkedIn, how to get found by B2B buyers, generate 15 times more sales leads from qualified buyers, a whole bunch more. You're going to get future access to all my books, all my courses, everything that I create on a regular basis. This is a monthly course. So right now it's $39 a month if you just come across it. Because you've sat through this, I'm doing an offer for $19 a month on this one. Like I say, current value of this is about $1,500, probably a little bit more now, increasing at approximately $100 to $500 per month in content. What I tell people is that, take action, start leveraging LinkedIn and figure out, shortcut your ability to learn. So it took me 11 years to learn a lot of the stuff that's sitting in here. What I would suggest is for $19 a month, learn relatively quick how to get this done and how to do things. If you get 10 new qualified meetings a week or even phone conversations, whatever it is, 50% into a funnel, 30% close rate, generating 78% or 78 more sales a year. So the other thing too, this comes with a 30-day money back guarantee. So monthly subscribers, you quit anytime. You go in there within the first 30 days. If you don't like what you see, basically I will refund your money. One of the things I talk about is the average sales rep in Canada makes $30 per hour. Monthly plan is $19 US. So basically, if you work for like 59 minutes, this course is paid for. First hour of every month you work, the course is paid for. Here's how you get access to this. You go into bit.ly/LinkedIn_membership_site. I'll leave that up for a sec. Take a drink of coffee. Hello, all my friends on Facebook Live watching. Unfortunately, I've got my iPad turned backwards, so I can't see if anyone's writing or asking any questions. But if you know me, you can reach out to me after the fact. So here we go, bit.ly/LinkedIn_membership_site. That will get you access to this. The other thing too, contact me if you have any questions, chris@salestipaday.com, or reach out to me on my phone number, 403-630-1243. So there we go. Took all of half an hour to get in here. I am going to go check, see if there's any questions. There are no questions here. That is great. I'm going to check on LinkedIn. Is there any questions there? Nope, there is not. Does anyone have any questions? More than happy to answer any questions. Let me just take a look here. Give me a sec. We are, for anyone that is watching on my Google Hangout. Same thing here. Any questions? Boom, there we go. Okay, well, I have people online. The other thing too is if you want to see a replay of this, just go back to the landing page that you got in the email. The other thing too is anyone who's watching Facebook Live, reach out to me and I'll send you the link for the replay. I'll keep the replay up for probably about a week and we'll go from there. And I'll tell you what, if I don't have any questions, doesn't look like I have any questions, I am going to end this broadcast. Thanks people on Facebook Live for joining, and people on YouTube and people on the other page. And I appreciate your time, and we'll go from there. Have yourself a wonderful week.